Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson.
And 15 PCA.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. So, Star Trek Discovery Season 2 begins today.
Yes.
Funny how they switched to Thursdays. Is any other sci-fi shows that are on Thursday? I don't know.
I have no idea.
There's no other sci-fi shows on
They're
Thursday.
already showing you're losing. That's what that's showing. You're already mini almost defeat there.
You let them course correct to you.
Yeah.
Whatever. But okay, we're back. It starts out with the recap because Season 1 was so forgettable.
Yeah.
If there was anything special in that recap, which I don't think there was, I skipped over it because I couldn't
Yeah.
take it anymore.
And when I first saw it, I go, oh no, they're not redoing the whole first season again. We have to watch it.
Watch
No!
our reviews. You get a better recap.
Yeah.
Then it goes into like a science film, like
something
on
you would watch
film?
at junior high school back in the 1970s.
your body and you. That's what it
Yeah,
goes.
that's what
It's
it
like-
did, yeah.
So it was showing like planets and stuff, but it's like old film grain, like a 33,
Yeah.
35
Yeah, that's what I
millimeter or
said.
whatever.
It feels like old.
And then you have Michael Burnham saying the sacred Trek words.
Yes, the beginning when you hear in every Star Trek show that
Space.
has to do with Enterprise.
The final frontier. You don't deserve to say those words. How dare you stand where he stood and say those words? You don't deserve it.
You're not
Why isn't
Kirk.
Pike saying this?
Yeah, Pike should have said it. Yeah, those words belong to Picard. They belong to Kirk. They belong to Janeway and Sisko, not you and Archer.
And
No.
then she switches it up and she does that whole thing she did from the commencement ceremony at the end of season
Yeah.
1. Well, we always look to the stars to find ourselves. I vaguely disagree with that.
We go to the stars because we want to look for new life. We want to.
We know
explore
who
the
we
universe.
are.
Yeah, especially at that point.
Yeah.
There is no conflict on Earth anymore.
I just disagree with that whole sentiment, that whole thing. So then we get to see some of like these like energy burst things, and those I guess
Yeah.
those are the red
what
lights.
was up? What was up with the icon at the beginning too? The
Yeah,
episode?
it's like the beginning of a science
This
video.
film's so weird.
It's really I'll
And when
have
she
it up
goes
on
on and
screen.
talks about like African history. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, she talks about like there's a story of this African girl threw sand in the sky and made the stars.
Why-
Is that a real proverb? I'm assuming it is.
Okay, I'll give you a little history here with Star Trek. Cisco was big into African culture. He had some of the ceremony things, but he didn't go into words and talk about the stories. And no, it's stupid.
And it's funny because she's like, "Oh, I didn't understand it, and I understand it now." You do know it's a story; it's not real, right?
Yeah,
It's so
it's a
weird.
parable. It's not supposed to be a literal thing.
But she's acting like it is. It's so
And that sound like someone who would be top of her class in the Vulcan Academy.
Sounds like
Not
an
for a
idiot.
minute. Not for a minute.
because this so voiceover's happening over when I guess this is when she first came home with Sarek.
Yes.
And it's a nice they have a really nice house. But what bothers me is as they're walking in there and everything, and you see like little Spock, and he's like kind of looks like he's like resentful.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like a jealous child.
Yeah, which is not.
They never really fully explain it because Michael Burnham knows, but I'm not telling. That's later on in the freaking
Oh, it's
episode.
ridiculous.
So she meets with they're talking with the family, and he's like, "Oh, would you like to meet my son?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to go meet him." And she walks up there, and we walk into his room. He's a kind of a cool room. He's like these little like energy things on
Yeah.
the wall and stuff. And you see him, he's like drawing on a tablet or something.
Yeah.
This little thing he's drawing with, that is without a doubt the thing from the this is the HTV Vive, the augmented reality
Yes.
thing. It's the virtual reality things. I can bring it up on screen. I don't know if it's the HTC one, but it's that. So they
That's
just grabbed
weird.
one of those and
I
used it
know
as a
they couldn't
prop.
even try to make it look more sci-fi, take sci-fi instead of today.
And he's drawing what looks like a spirograph
It
drawing.
looks like a weird, like almost like Chinese dragon.
Well, see, that's later. See, he
Yeah.
first he's like drawing it. Like,
Yeah.
what's it? It looks like a mess.
Yeah.
Then he like starts grabbing it and throwing it in the sky. Why would it all come at once? Whatever. Then it makes a. First, I thought it was like an infinity symbol, but it's
Yeah.
like straight up like a dragon,
Yeah.
and it's like roaring at her. Why is he doing this? She's not really reacting to it, and then the dragon goes away, and she's like, "Oh, I'm Michael Burnham."
Yeah.
You know, she puts her hand out to shake it. Then Spock just slams the door in her face.
Thing is, Spock is half human. He would never act like this. That's not Spock. Even
But
at
this
that
is the
age.
new Spock. Oh, these are the Spock you never knew about. Still like him.
Yeah, well, you're trying to ruin him, that's for sure.
So we get back to right where season 1 ended. They met up with the Enterprise. Its power's down. It needs help.
Emphasize the power's down and life support's down.
Yeah, life support's like on barely hanging on by a string,
Yeah.
basically.
But they don't act like it at all.
They're trying to come up with ideas. They can't really communicate and everything. And it's jumping around. Everyone's coming up with ideas. And then we have Tilly jumps up and says, "Morse code." And they're like, "Huh? You guys are saying there was interference, and I was thinking that maybe the Morse code might
She's
work."
season 1, episode 1 Tilly again. She didn't grow at all. She regressed.
Yay for communications, and then she like gives the guy like a fist bump. My soul brother.
So stupid.
I thought Tilly grew from season 1. She
Yeah.
really did.
Yep.
Okay, everything she went through in the Mirror Universe, she got better. We hit the reset button.
Yeah.
She's back to super goofy girl.
Yeah, and literally she says, I'm sorry, what are you doing? Know what you go, Captain, I think I have an idea. We can go and use Morse code. That's a low band communication. They'll be able to hear that. Say that.
But I gotta be silly.
Yeah, that's silly.
Then we get kind of a thing like, oh, he descended and they get the message back, oh, he wants to aboard the ship. He's coming with him. And 2 officers, one of them is a science officer, and everyone's like, oh, everyone knows the science officer.
And Sarek's on the ship still.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, I never thought I'd see my son again. Well, it's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say.
Did you think he was going to die out there?
I don't know, I guess.
Weird. But then we get the new opener, and then I guess they added a couple scenes of stupid Black Angel, Red Angel thing. So and then you see one of the badges start to turn black because, oh, Section 31. Okay, that's nice. They're walking towards the transporter room, and Sue was like, oh, you're going to come with me, Michael Burnham? And you can see that Michael Burnham's nervous because she's going to meet her brother again. But almost in a little too nervous to meet your brother.
They get, as you watch this episode, you're like, no. You're just thinking.
Odd.
Very odd.
Weird she acts with her brother. We never find out in this first episode why she's so weird, but they get to the transporter room, and then we see a guy who's like, he looks kind of like Jordy with this little visor, but he has like a helmet thing on too.
It's like if you mix like Jordy with like the visor Krang wears in Ninja Turtles.
or Cerebro.
With a little bit of Flash Gordon, those guys in the thing. It's just so odd. It's goofy sci-fi. It doesn't look good.
It looks pretty silly. Yeah. They transport over, and then it shows a science officer, and he doesn't have pointy ears.
Literally his ears. And it's like, come on.
Get it? Vulcan had pointy ears. So, and this I thought was odd. Pike and his 2 dudes are just standing there. Then Seward starts to talk, and they're still just standing there. Like, why? It was like, an odd pause.
Why don't they all get off the transport? Okay, I'm Captain Pike. This is my science officer. No, they don't say anything for like the 30 seconds.
And a lot of that trailer that we reviewed, check that out. A lot of that footage comes from this episode.
Yeah.
So he comes on, I learned from, Nebraska or Missouri to jump in the river, just do it. And he's basically saying, I'm taking over the ship under these circumstances. I'm going to be captain.
And so there's only 3 cases, like if it's an emergency and then a threat, something like that.
And then the lives of Starfleet.
Because they didn't even tell us. Starfleet Command didn't even tell us that this was happening.
It was just like in that movie with what's his face. I'm the captain now. he takes the key from him.
I know, right?
So they're walking down the thing and they're kind of explaining their situation. And that science officer guy, Science Officer McDouchebag, such a jerk.
Like how Stamets was in the first season times 10.
Let me let you in. I'm smarter than you, and you're dumb, and I'm smart, and you're an idiot. It's
so annoying.
Awful. Then we get that stupid elevator scene, the one from the trailer.
And we're watching. We're hoping. Oh, maybe they cut it. Then they only showed a part of it. Nope. They showed the elevator on the outside, and it looked...
The turbo lift.
Turbo lift.
It looks like a Disneyland ride.
Yeah.
So is that what it looks like? It's like a bunch of...
No, it's like a tube. And you go through that way, and it goes like this and like that. It doesn't. There's no.
This is going all over the place.
Like you see flashing lights. The heck is this?
I know they try to like update it, but it looks super odd. Then he does the whole sneezing thing. Hey, everyone laughs. Stupid.
And then Orville.
And then Pike is like, I'm going to need your access codes and all that. And Siru, of course, following protocol, we need to do an ID identification DNA on the ship in the front of the whole crew, so we all know that you really are Captain Pike. Which makes sense because of everything that went down with
Lorca, which I understand that, but here's the thing is, why are they saying in front of that one lizard guy? It's like he's in a low-rank conference, he's going to be hearing this stuff.
And then also with Tyler, remember how he pretended to be? They want to make sure that he's really him.
That makes sense. I'm not arguing, just wish they would have said it in a conference room, which apparently they don't have on this ship.
They do address that at the end, which is kind of funny. But he does the thing and he puts his hand on the thing, and then Tilly's the one administering the DNA.
And Tilly goes on way
and she's like in love with
him.
Oh, he's so handsome. Your pinky isn't in the right spot, and I touched him.
Oh god,
Tilly, she regressed.
So bad.
The bumbling moron.
Oh, she was becoming, like I said, likable. Now she's turned idiot again.
Oh no! I put all your medical history up on the viewer screen in front of everyone. That's a invasion of privacy.
I know, but Pike says, "Go good." He was actually glad she did.
And he's like, "Here, that's everything. All my accommodations. Oh, look, the F I got in astrophysics at the academy." And so it's kind of fun that he was saying, "I know everything that happened in the war." Being upfront and transparent. Which was nice. He did. It was a captain moment.
Yeah, it was a captain moment. He goes and said, look, I already got the classified files which your previous captain did. I'm not him. And I'm going to prove to you guys can trust me, basically. And he did a good job. That felt like a captain moment.
So, his security officer lady, you were saying that
I don't know if it's a bentonite. I'm not sure, but it looks like she has a little
the
thing.
little breather thingies.
The little breathe thing. I think I could be wrong.
But the rest of her doesn't match the previous
No.
version. So I don't know. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. Who knows? But then he goes and basically tells him the mission. There were these 7 bursts of energy all appear at the same time, and we're going to go basically investigate it. The Enterprise is down, so it's just such an urgent thing. Starfleet told me to take over your ship, and we're going right now.
But again, there was no urgency to save the other Enterprise.
They never tell you what happened.
No. They said I sent a crew to fix it, but that was it. Like a shuttle, but that was it. Oh, okay.
Then we cut to Stamets, and he's like basically doing like a vid memory thing with his dead husband.
But he's doing it while he's on the job, which is kind of weird. You should do that on your own.
But remember, he's on the way out, so he doesn't care. He's like, I only got 2 days left. I'm totally checked out, bro. But he's like watching a memory, and it's kind of sad because that was his husband. He loved him, and he's dead now. And he's down in the science bay where they had the tardigrade spores thingy, and we get Tilly again, and she's like, oh, with basically shutting all this stuff down, and you have such a small area, we're converting the engines back to normal engines. Not because of lawsuits or anything, but she's like, you know what? There's this other doctor that has 2 floors, and she's really not doing anything. I'm going to give you that so you have 2 floors for your own science thing. And then he's like, Tilly, I'm transferring out. After the ceremony, he got invited to be a professor in Vulcan.
Vulcan, so he's going to go there. Yeah.
Which is like a super high honor for a human to teach in a Vulcan Academy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to do that because every time I look around, I see him. I see him.
And this on the ship. And actually, Tilly was being a little more sure for herself at the only time this whole episode where she's like, no, you can't let that affect you. You can't.
But at the same time, she doesn't know.
No.
You don't know how I feel.
No.
And then she even says, I don't. And then it was really funny because he's like, you need to repeat after me. You're like, talk less. And she's like, oh, because she does talk. She never stops talking.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to let her know. And then he said one thing that's ridiculous, to be a captain today. I would never want to be her be a captain on my ship.
She's about 15 years-ish before becoming captain. She's pretty young, and captains are always a little bit older.
But I don't think she could do it at all, ever. Maybe a lieutenant commander, but...
She needs to work up that ladder. She has a long way to go. Anything's possible, but right now... And what that was kind of sweet, though, even after he told her you talk too much, she goes, I don't want you to go. And that was kind of a little touching moment, because I think she finally felt comfortable with him. And then to get a new person in, she's going to be all awkward again, and she feels like that's her little family, because she's kind of...
And Stamets looked like he didn't regress at all, which is good. He stayed, he's still a little pretty good now.
And it was true. Tilly's all heart, which is fine, but as a captain, you need a balance of brain, heart, mind, and heart.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
She cares too much.
That's why she make a lousy captain. You can't be that way.
We get back to Michael Burnham, and she's reading Alice in Wonderland again. Okay,
kids. This is what someone who graduated from the Vulcan Academy with top honors would be doing.
It was because she got.
Mom, I know, but it's like you have to read it again.
And then Sarah goes in there to talk to her, and they're basically talking about why didn't Spock show up.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, he has his reasons. He probably wanted to help with the Enterprise, get it up and running. But then she's like, no, it must be something more. And then they have this weird thing where she's like, oh, why Spock? What would you want me to learn from him or him to learn from me? I wanted to learn empathy from like a human. So it's like, I took you in just to help my son. He's so cold and just... awful.
I know he's a Vulcan, but like, wow, even for a Vulcan, that's kind of,
And then he's like, I suppose he didn't take to the lesson. She's like, oh, he did learn, and I wanted him to see more than just, like that thing to help you, but as an actual sister, a sibling. Then she's like, he did for a while, and he's like, what do you mean for a while? And so it's alluding to them having...
I don't know.
I don't
want to think
I don't want to think that they had like some type of physical relationship, like lovers. I don't know. It's just so weird, because why wouldn't she tell her dad? Then he's like, oh, cool about it. Well, if you want to tell me about it, you know where to bring me. He
can just mind meld and find out if he wanted to.
Like, it's so weird, and she's so like
evasive about
it, and weird and strange. So did something happen between these two?
I hope not.
I don't know. I got an odd feeling. It made me uneasy.
I wanted to be like, oh, she was gonna fall off a cliff, or he was, and he saved him, or something. Make it that. Don't make it. Please don't. And then, she had candles, and we called it was fake candles.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way those aren't real candles, and they're just, like, projections or whatever.
Yeah.
Then we get to the bridge, and then Captain Pike, being Captain Pike, he's like, okay, roll call, who's on the thing? Everyone's like, what the hell is that? He's like, I want to know everyone's names, and I don't care about your rank, just tell me your name. So they go around, everyone saying their name, because he's like, I want to know who I'm serving with.
And we want to know, too, because I don't know some of these names.
I don't remember them now. I know Suru.
What was Joanna? Or was the last one on the helm? I forgot.
The redhead?
No, I'm talking about the other chick. The last
black chick?
One. Yeah, the last one.
I have no...
I don't remember. It's just... At least now we have their names, so now if we can... Hopefully they put on Wikipedia. That's their names.
So they go around, everyone's saying their names, and then, Suru... Because everyone has a first and last name, and Suru's like, just Suru, I don't have a surname or whatever.
Yeah,
that was kind of a cute little moment. Then they're on their way to that, where that pulse with that star was, so they, what do they say, punch it? Is that his thing? Not engage?
Yeah.
I will always love engage, and that will always be my number one.
Yeah.
Or make it so, that's a good one too. But they get there, and it's like everything's all rocks and blown up. But they went to Alderaan. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
This is where the episode becomes Star Wars.
Yeah.
No, actually, technically not yet, because they get there and everything's all blown up and stuff. Like, well, give me some readings. What's going on here? We get a lot of good science talk.
Oh, this is probably the best part of the episode.
And because Pike's kind of like, okay, what the hell am I looking at? Sir, there's gravitational pulls, and there's all kinds of weird stuff going on.
Thank you. This is what I've been wanting with this series for the longest time. Give us sci-fi techie talk.
And they're like, oh, we need to get a closer look, but there's so much interference. And Michael Burnham's like, oh, we have cameras that we use to help with repairs, but we can use those lenses to
but
look
these
closer.
Cameras are...
I thought they were like sending out a probe.
Yeah, I thought a probe. No, they're literally come out and they're like flashing. They're taking flashes. Like, what that?
Would there be a flash?
I don't think that.
I don't know. It just
that
was
working
weird.
outer space? I don't think it would.
It would have to be a powerful flash. I don't know. I thought that was silly.
Yeah.
But it takes a bunch of pictures, and then they see some of the close on the rocks. Well, you still can't tell. Like then they realize, damn, there's a ship down there.
And it's Federation ship.
And then of course this is kind of a weird thing they did. Like Suru, he can like see better because the pictures are low resolution. So like he used his elven vision.
And his eyes also got bigger too. Like,
what do your elven eyes see?
He's all, I see it, Captain.
go gadget eyeballs. Then he sees that the markings on the ship, and it gets as a medical vessel. And they're like, well, and then Captain Pike's like, we gotta go save them. And there could be life forms on there. Mm-hmm. They can't scan because of all the interference. Then Suru kind of goes, well, the chances of someone being alive down there, and because it was counted lost 10 months ago.
Yeah, they thought the ship was the clearance, but no, got stuck on this asteroid.
And Suru was like, you're gonna risk more lives to find out. And then Pike's like, I'm gonna go see if there's lives down there, and if you don't agree with me, too bad, I'm the captain. Which I think it shows you his more, he has more like Lorca wouldn't have cared.
No.
Even, of course, it was evil Lorca back then, but he's kind of showing that, he's taking over the ship. And I know if Suru kind of feels like, you took my ship from me, do you think he had a little of that feeling?
Yeah, but that's the orders from Starfleet. Nothing you can do about it.
Then he's like, okay, we're going to, then they're trying to figure out what can we do, how can we get down there? Oh, we have these ships that can take the gravitational pulls and all that stuff, and we'll go down there and get them.
Well, he yells at Captain Burnham for that suggestion. He goes, oh, Mike Burnham, I was going to suggest that we do that,
Because, we were not going to leave anyone behind. And I guess he kind of liked it. They're kind of butting heads a little bit.
A little bit.
Then, before they go down there to go suit up, Tilly runs into Michael Burnham. Oh, you have to give me a sample of that thing. Which is nice. But then they get all, like, kind of girly happy about it.
Yeah, it's
like, look at my new purse. Like, it just, they got
it's like there's just a Star Trek sci-fi show trying to get out, but then the girly high school crap comes in and brings it down. It's like,
it's surprised she didn't jump up and down.
It's trying to get out. Come on.
They can't help themselves.
I know.
Then it turns into what was that one movie, Armageddon?
Oh yeah.
Where they all walk down the hallway and they're in their suits. It's pretty much.
Of course, it's the people that Pike brought with him. So.
And they have like color-coded suits.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah, she's in red. I thought she was in red. She was gonna die.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
And this part, when they go on the platform and it goes down, I thought, is this Star Wars? It felt like Star Wars.
This is where the show becomes Star Wars for a little bit.
Yeah.
It goes down, and that's where like these ships are held. And then of course, Pike's like, "Oh, have you flown one of these?" And I was one of the test pilots. I'm Michael Burnham. I can fly any type of vehicle. I'm super
and
crazy
they did
smart.
praise Burnham early in the episode too. Already appraised.
Your brother said you were super smart. So she test piloted these things. So she's an ace pilot.
Yep.
Smartest human being that ever lived because she graduated the academy with honors. She can fight and kick a lot of butt.
Yeah.
Again, when people call her a Mary Sue, well, can you deny it?
No, you can't. Sorry.
I've never flown these before, but I was there to help do something. No, she had to be an ace pilot too.
Yeah.
And then that scientific guy, the blue shirt, He's just a complete jerk to everyone.
And the thing that gets me too is like, yeah, when Tom Paris says he flies everything, it comes off as charming because he is just a pilot. But Burnham, you're not just a pilot.
He's also not the smartest guy that ever
No,
lived.
he isn't.
So they get into the pods and they shoot off and they're going through like these tubes. I'm like, what is this, Voltron? Are they on the way to the
And
Alliance?
the sound like Star Wars. I mean, literally the same sound effects.
Yeah, they kind of sound like weird TIE fighters. So
Yeah.
so they were going to form Voltron. They shoot out of the thing. And they have like these little spinny things. I guess that's what keeps the gravitational thing. They
That
never
makes
explain
sense.
it.
Yeah, but I'm assuming.
They're making weird noises and stuff. And it's just like, there's a lot of banter.
Yeah.
This is pretty serious.
Yeah, kind of concentrate.
Kind of gotta concentrate, but so they're going back and forth with the banter, and oh, you'll take the lead, Burnham, because you're the best person that ever lived. And that other science guy, her calculations are wrong. I had a roommate that was whatever, and I told what I told her. Why don't you just sit back and watch me do my work? And he gets hit by an asteroid and dies.
Yeah, why don't you pay attention to the talking, you moron? What are you doing?
So we lose our
A-hole.
our blue shirt. I thought the red shirt was gonna. We lost the blue shirt.
Yeah.
He's dead. Pike's ship gets hit with like some of the meteor, and his things starting to crack.
Yeah.
So he's like I'm gonna jump out.
But it won't let him.
The helmet doesn't go down all the way. I don't think it'd be like a manual thing you can just
Yeah.
pull down. But anyways, his helmet's not going down. He's like, oh, I'm in free fall. Basically, everyone can stay on mission. Just let me die. Brendan's like, no way, we're not gonna let you die. We're the we're the Discovery. We don't leave anyone behind. And he even gives her an order not to do it. She just disobeys.
Yeah.
And
And they even tried to remote eject him from the Enterprise. Discovery, and they couldn't do it.
I keep wanting to say Enterprise, and I keep wanting to say Orville. but it's
Especially since Pike just came from the Enterprise. But yeah,
Then Burnham does all the math in her head, and then she's like giving them the math back to the helmsman,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, the Discovery got you. Isn't that right, ladies? And this is exactly from the trailer. They're all looking around like, well, we're flustered ladies. We don't know how to do
that's
things.
just a weird thing in the show to do. Just odd.
Working on it like that. Not this shrugging shoulders type thing. Oh, I guess. So basically, she figures all this stuff out about how she has to basically eject at the same time. She has to grab them, then use her. Then they're going to remote activate her jetpack thingies and slow them down. And so all this
Stop
stuff
with
is
the inertia. Yeah.
yeah, everything's happening. All this thing. She grabs them, and then they literally stop inches from smashing into the ground. Inches.
Yeah, it's insane.
Then they're like, oh, we made touchdown. Yay, we're good.
And then they wait about 10 seconds before she says something, of course.
But we saw that they did hit the ground.
Yeah.
So the suspense is for the people on the Discovery, not for the viewer.
Yeah, but shouldn't it be for the viewer, though? It's so dumb.
Yeah. Then they make touchdown, and then we get some of them walking on the outside of the ship, and they're trying to figure out what happened. Look like it's all like junked out. They got totally destroyed.
Yeah.
Then Michael Burnham has like her scanner from Aliens, and a target. What did she say? A target? Is that what she said?
Yeah, there's a target. Why would you say target?
We have something's approaching.
Yeah, there's a life form.
Yeah, or something. And she says and it happens to be like these little robots that are scanning them.
Like something you see out of Destiny.
Yeah, like the ghost. I'm surprised it wasn't freaking the thing Guardian. It has the thing that spins around.
Oh, sweet.
Then we hear the scientist lady. Oh, thank God, kind of like you're here. Follow the children. She calls these things her children. Let's not, enforce the crazy cat lady stereotype where she refers to all her kittens as
And
her
this
kids.
is another Federation officer. This is a starship. Why don't you just say, hey, guys, my name is da-da-da. Please follow the other machines.
There's no introductions until they actually meet her
No.
face to face. So it's all just like a mystery. So they don't even know who they're following.
No.
It's so dumb. So they follow this thing to the tube, and they realize that there's air that it can breathe, so they can deactivate their helmets. And she all of a sudden jumps on the intercom. Oh, stop! There's like a booby trap right there. Wouldn't you have said this before you walked down the dangerous
So
hallway?
be careful, guys, and I'll let you know when they come up.
Like, I have booby traps set up. Watch for a red laser. But
I don't want your head to get cut off. Well, why would you say it like that?
She told them seconds before you activated
Yeah.
it. Seconds.
How stupid.
What was she waiting for?
What if he just would have went up and then he's gone?
You
I just killed the captain. Good job.
Then they get to her little lab or makeshift med bay, and you see a lot of people on tables, and they're like, I don't know, Frankenstein together.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it looks really.
they're
creepy.
barely being kept alive, but at least she's keeping them alive
Yeah.
for 10 months.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a long time. Then they meet her, and
Oh my! This is the worst part of all Discovery so far.
this woman reminds me
worse.
of. I reviewed all the episodes of She-Ra, and there's a character in that cartoon called Enchaptra. She kind of reminds me of her. I'm eccentric. I am kind of a weirdo, and I'm not going to adapt to normal ways. They're very similar
and annoying
characters.
and just a horrible person to talk to.
She's just kind of being really, really crass and
Yeah.
jokey and stupid because she's like operating on Did you say a Talarite?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like operating on his brain or whatever to keep him alive, and then of course his blood's all over his hands. Goes to shake Pike's hand. Oh, don't worry about it. Their blood contains blah blah blah. It's like, would you really talk like this?
No.
Unless she's again supposed to be that eccentric weirdo.
I don't want that.
Again, we have enough weird personalities in this show.
Yeah.
And then she goes on and on and on about all she keeping all these people alive and how she literally has one dude's heart like in a canister and it's still connected to him.
Yeah. But she's not a medical dog. She's an engineer.
Yeah.
Oh, same difference. I just had to read a book. You're telling me all these alien races, she figured out how to keep them alive.
Because she's a cool woman.
Oh yeah, she's just amazing. She's the older version of Mike Burnham, and she's just it's just ugh.
And there's a time crunch here.
Yeah. They only got like at the beginning. They said they only got like 5 hours. Come on, let's pick it up.
And they're just kind of having this conversation with her about how cool she is and she kept everyone alive and she didn't know the war was over.
Yeah, which
Soldiers,
makes sense.
the war is over. Yeah. And she's like, oh, yay, oh, you're not speaking Klingon, so I guess we won. No, duh. I don't know what to say to you, lady. You're supposed to be smart. You're kind of an idiot.
Oh, gosh.
Then they're like, okay, we need to teleport all the people out of here. They had some, they had the boosters.
Yeah, they said it earlier, too, so yes, they did say that. They had enhancers.
So these boosters, like, oh, they're fail-safe just in case the actual transporters don't work. And then she's like, Burnham's explaining everything to this new lady. Where were you 10 months ago? I'm going to give her a little wink and lick her lips, too. She's been praised, Burnham's been praised, what, 5 times by now?
Yeah.
Where were you? Oh, you're so wonderful and great. And it's so funny. They're doing all the science stuff. And what is Pike doing? Propping open a door.
Yeah.
The grunt work.
Yeah, wouldn't she be doing that? And well, at least the other officer, I mean, I don't know. It's just weird.
He's just a man, and he can just carry the pipe, and we're going to do all the smart stuff.
He's the captain of the ship, right?
Yeah. So they finally, they establish link. Okay, good. We can start transporting people over. Problem is, the transport, you got to have your shields down. A lot of these rocks are coming out.
Now, this is actually really, I would admit, this was a little intense. I'll give you that.
Start hitting them. They're trying to make evasive maneuvers. Okay, to send the 6th the most.
And there's tons of rocks here.
It's like in Star Wars when Alderaan blew up. It's just a freaking asteroid belt now. And all the weird gravities and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So they start teleporting people over.
Only 6 at a time.
6 at a time. Then it's the last one. It's starting to fade. So Michael Burnham's setting it up. She gets basically left behind, not on purpose. She's on the thing. She's running towards the where the boosters are, so she can get transported back over. And she's running and dodging stuff. And then they do that weird selfie angle, like the camera's like connected to her hip and it's looking up and like everything's bouncing around.
Every time I see it, it's stupid, no matter what it's done.
It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's sitting like, where am I going? Just
okay. It was silly enough when I saw it in Gotham. This downright ridiculous that Star Trek's using it.
It's a silly camera angle. It works for YouTube videos. It shouldn't be in live productions.
No.
It's just a silly waste of time. Then there's like things are blowing up. Something falls and hits her, and she gets like knocked out. Screen goes black. She wakes back up, and she has like a freaking spike in her thigh.
Yeah, Crimson called it.
I was like, oh, she's got a thing, and man, I could only imagine how much that hurts because it looks like it's glowing red too, so it's probably hot.
Yeah.
And it went through my freaking femur. Youch!
That would hurt.
And then the scene goes. These scenes go on for too long. She kind of sees a shadow. Cuts back to her face. Then the shadow gets a little more defined. Oh, it's that angel thing. It goes back to her face, and it just keeps going back and forth. And then Pike came back to get her, and he was right where that angel thing was. So it's like, was this like an interdimensional being?
I don't know.
Is she hallucinating? Do you have to be like on the verge?
But you know, Burnham's gonna be in the middle of it. You know, she's gonna be the one to be able to solve it. That's just how it is.
Then Pike comes back, 2 for beam up, and then she grabs a little bit of the meteor. But as they're teleporting, it just falls out of her hand.
Yeah, so it can't be transported by meteor by transport,
which is super crazy.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Like, and I think I actually thought that was kind of cool. I'll give it that. That was interesting.
So they're like in a triage mode to getting everyone over and everything, and Tilly's like making her way through the crowd, and she gets to Michael Burnham. Oh, how you doing? Oh, in a couple hours I'll be up and running. Well, if you didn't get my sample, that's okay. I hate people who talk like that. Do not give me the option to not have you're
but
giving me
she said it
permission
right away. At least I thought she would say, "Oh, where's the sample at?" That's what I thought she was going to say. Which it's a little better, but
then she's like, "I did have it, but it didn't transport with me." Then we get some kind of cool science talk about like, "Oh, if it can't be transported, then it can't be made of." Then they go back and forth, but then they get like giddy.
Exactly.
We can be the foremothers of the. God, can't you just talk and then you're getting excited?
At their time, they don't talk like that. They don't see gender. They don't talk like that.
And it's like they're excited like two 13-year-old girls who found a $50 gift card to Starbucks. Like it's
yeah, I know it can be a new source of energy for the Federation, but come on, guys, be a little bit more expectant about it.
And of course, because Michael Burnham is just the badass of badasses, when she was getting worked on, she was already finding other asteroids that they can maybe capture to get that sample while she was like being operated on.
At least the doctor's saying, yeah, she's not a good patient. She's like, yeah, she's terrible. Well, so criticized for Michael Burnham. Wow.
Yeah, but like in a... No, this is a backhand compliment. It was a backhand criticism where it was actually positive.
Well, that's the best we're going to get from Michael Burnham. We got to take it. And then there's another scene where like Burnham was talking with Suru, and this was early in the episode. And they go, well, I don't want to see Spock. And he goes, well, Suru, I can't see my sister. I'm never going to see her.
Oh,
again.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
And that was nice. Like, well, there's things that prevent me from seeing her. I wish I could.
Yeah, the Prime Directive, all that.
Yeah, that was, again, building that weird connection between her and Spock. It just makes me feel ooky.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Mirror Lorca with Michael Burnham made me feel odd and I don't like that feeling. That I'm getting that same kind of feeling.
I hope not, but we don't know with this show.
But so Tilly's like getting together her crew. Okay, we're gonna go get one of these asteroids, and there's Stamets walks by and he's like, well, what's going on?
And I'm like, what do you care? That's what
I would have said. Oh, I thought you're leaving.
Yeah.
But of course she's like, oh, of course you're invited to the party. But there was nothing to do. I thought they were gonna actually go out and get it. So basically their plan was to catch it.
Well, the transforming looking thing that looked terrible.
They put a thing down and then it becomes like a transformer. And the graphics there are pretty crappy.
Yeah, they're bad.
It doesn't look real at all.
No.
Like, nothing's fooling me that this thing is actually there.
No.
So, in a fun, I think in a nice move, since Pike's only reason he was on the Discovery was to investigate these red aura thingies, it's not there, so he relinquishes Captain back to Suru.
It's kind of a crunch moment. I don't know if he should have did that.
But that's not his call.
Yeah.
He was only there for the red thing, and he's trying to show that he's, I'm the cool captain, but he's trying to show that he's a different kind of captain. Yeah. Okay, you can trust me. See, there's still that lingering Lorca-ness on the ship.
And he knows it, and he's got to gain their trust.
So that's what they do. They catch it. They literally back it up and catch it in the shuttle bay. Which I didn't think they were going to do that, but apparently that's what they do.
I was thinking, wow, they're literally just going to use the ship and back it up like a car. Back it up.
Beep,
to the parking space.
Beep, hook up the hitch.
I know.
But that's that big thing that folded out. It was like a gravitational grabber thingy. Why couldn't they use a tractor beam?
Maybe it wouldn't work like the transporter. I don't know.
But
how would the anti-gravity thing work then?
I don't know.
We don't know.
So,
see, even though as much as Tech we're praising it, they still didn't do enough.
A couple of times they could have done a little better.
A bit better.
And then they're all celebrating. They caught it. This is math, people. High five. These little silly moments. I don't like them.
No.
It just feels weird.
Come on, the Star Trek sci-fi. Get out. Get rid of the silly moments. Come on.
There was an article saying they wanted to appeal more to children.
Yeah, that's what
this is the silliness is for little because little kids are tuning into Discovery.
Yeah, sure they are.
Then we get to even though Pike said he was going to leave, in the next scene he's wearing the Discovery uniform, so he decides to stay.
Well, I think maybe just for that because it wasn't the Red Angel, but now since they're going to the red things now, orbs, whatever.
It's weird. It's strange because he says, I'm not staying. Now I'm staying. Literally one scene later.
Yeah.
Basically, he's in Captain Lorca's old quarters thing. And then he's looking around like, this is sparse. Like, is there to be chairs and stuff? So I want people to, everyone on my crew to be able to know.
But Lorca was that weird because he's on the Empire. That's why.
Yeah, in the Empire, I make a decision. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't want discourse. I don't want anyone talking to me. He's like, well, that's not how I'm going to run the ship.
Yeah.
So let's get some chairs in here. And he actually finds one of the fortune cookies or whatever, or just the fortune of it. And then it says something weird. I got to bring it up because not every cage is a prison, nor every loss eternal. I kind of agree with that, but I don't like cages. Like I said, some people say, a cage that's a million miles wide is still a cage.
Yeah.
But again, not every end's internal. Not everything is gone forever. That's like another thing. That's like an ongoing sentiment of the show. There's always a connection forever. Like somehow all our souls or something. It's kind of religious in a weird way.
But almost a weird spiritual metaphor going on. It's like, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying that's totally terrible, but not on this show.
So since Stamets helped with that thing, you think he's staying, right?
I think
he's staying. He's not going to take
the teaching job. Because he said, I think they're going to find out more about things. He said he'll stay long enough for that. Things earlier with the red orb, so maybe he'll stay for that. That'll be an excuse, but then he'll stay.
Because he's a scientist.
Yeah.
He's a scientist. I heard he's going to want to look things up. So, we get them after that whole little scene in the captain's quarters. They're walking down the hallway, and she basically said, "Why didn't Mr. Spock come with you?" And he basically tells her he was not even on the Enterprise because she wanted to go to the Enterprise.
Me and Crimson were thinking maybe he hurt the sabotage Enterprise, but that wasn't it.
Maybe he did, and then they sent them off. I don't know. Maybe we don't know a lot what the hell's going on. They never explain what happened in the Enterprise.
No.
But she's like, "I'm gonna go to the Enterprise. I'm gonna meet my brother." He's like, "Well, he's not even there." And it's funny because when she first asked him in the teleporter room, he said, "Well, it's probably best to lower your expectations. If there wasn't a line that fits Discovery, lower your expectations because you're in for a rough one."
Oh gosh.
He's like, "Oh, he took some shore leave. He had like months and months saved up." And she's like, "What the hell? You didn't even tell Sarek or her."
Yeah.
So I guess she feels kind of hurt that he didn't.
Yeah, Spock didn't tell anyone. I'm a little hurt because he didn't tell anybody. That's just weird.
And then she's like, "Well, did he tell you why?" And he's like, "Oh, I trust my officers not to I don't ask him questions. If he didn't want to tell me, then that's his business not to tell me." And she's like, "I still want to go over to the Enterprise."
But he's acting odd though. You got to be at least.
Yeah, you have to be concerned. But then Spock has always had like a weird streak.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he had a question he couldn't find an answer to. Yeah, and this is a quote from the creators and the showrunners, fried his brain. The dumbest way to explain what he's going through.
Yeah.
But then she's like, "I still want to go over there to rummage through his things and look through his underwear drawers."
So he's going to the Enterprise. Cool. They don't show any of the Enterprise beside his room. It's like...
but see, right before she goes to the Enterprise, he's like, "I'm sticking around a little bit longer, and I promise we're going to have a little fun." Didn't your science officer just die?
They didn't even act like
they didn't even give a flying crap that he's dead.
No.
I know he was a jerk, but you don't care that he's dead?
Yeah.
Let's have some fun and kill a couple officers along the way.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a contrast when nobody else knew about Orville when he died last season. How emotional it was, and had a service, and it was, heart-wrenching.
They don't give a crap.
No, they didn't care.
They don't even log it in there that he even went.
Oh, well, by the way, he didn't even go hunting. He left the Enterprise.
And in a cool little cut, she's standing at the window looking at the Enterprise, and then it just cuts straight to the being on the Enterprise. It has the red walls and everything. I'm like, "Oh, cool, we're gonna see the bridge." I still wax nostalgic for that look, that sound, the way the doors made that sound. I just love it.
I just love it. It's so 60, but I don't care. I don't care. It can be cheesy.
But it's just the door to Spock's room.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's super dark. And when you only see, when she first enters, you only see her eyes like a ninja. What's that all about?
Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah.
Computer lights. Come on.
Come on.
But she's walking around, and I guess he has like a bunch of ceremonial stuff, like bells, I guess for the meditation.
And he has like a cage thing. Like, is this a Klingon?
It looks like the partitions that people would change behind.
Yeah.
But it has a bunch of holes in it. It looks very, I want to say it has Asian-inspired look to it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Then she touches his uniform and everything, and she rubs her fingers on it. I get odd feelings from their relationship. Oh God, please don't.
They will destroy Spock. This will be almost a death knell to the character if you do this.
Then she sees his light bright magic spirograph thingy that he had when he was a kid. He still has it, and then she sees that there's an audio thing on it. She clicks on it, and we hear Spock's voice, and then he's basically saying that this is probably my last message here, and there's trying to he's not acting like himself. He sounds nothing like how Spock would talk.
No.
So something's going down.
Yeah.
Then he says that there's I'm not saying there's a clue, but there's a thing that my nightmares have returned, and I'm seeing the same visions, and that's when the Red Angel thing. So
I'm glad at least he's the point on this too, and then that's just burn him.
And he's like, there's everything I have is on this data pad, and then
Burnham figures out in seconds.
She remembers the whole dragon thing.
Yeah.
Because he would draw his nightmares, and he's like, my mother would tell me to draw them out so I can face my nightmares, so I can overcome them. Which I think that's a good message, but at the same time, you gotta help them through it, especially at such a young age.
She's being a human. You'd think she'd understand that more.
But again, the whole Vulcan. Then she does the whole throwing the light in the sky, and it's all those red symbols. So Spock had a vision of these things.
Guess.
And then
at least it's Spock. At least I can at least give it to Spock getting it.
So that's the end of the episode. So,
and then when she's saying, "Oh, I don't want to lose you again." What do you mean you lost him? You didn't lose him. What?
It's so weird. They were lovers. I don't know. Call me crazy. Am I seeing? It just has that weird, awkward uneasiness. The same way I felt with Mirror Universe Lorca. How he was so obsessed with her. Oh, because he was sleeping with her. That's that. They never said that explicitly, but my God, he was going hard in the paint for her, like a lover.
Yeah.
I can only, since he's Mirror Universe, they're all into everything. I'm getting that same uneasiness feeling about her and her relationship. Because they keep alluding to something happened and she doesn't want to talk about it.
That's so.
That one time at the lake house, and he keeps showing the memory that it keeps cutting away. Won't that be great? Like we keep almost seeing it.
And Spock says, "You look good, girl. What's going on here?"
And then he puts his hand on his shoulder. Oh God, no! Spock's a
You look
pervert.
real good. He's all-
You know, I have a human side. Like I can't even imagine what they could do with
And if
this.
they do that, you know, Spock's one of my favorite characters in all Star Trek, and you do that, I mean,
So that's episode 1. It had some cool sci-fi moments.
but it was bogged down. The only time that was a little funny when Suru was singing in the back when his neck going during when they were in that
Those
mission.
phalange
He goes,
booties.
"Yeah, get over it." He told the other guy, "Get over it, okay?"
Because he senses danger.
Danger, yeah.
Pike is up and down. I'm not completely sold on Pike yet.
He's way better than Lorca. I'll give you that, but he just sometimes he sounds really good, and other times it's like
Too cowboyish.
too. Yeah, he's got to bring it down a little bit. That's Kirk, not
Yeah,
Pike.
I'm feeling a little too Kirkish here with
Yeah.
this. The most irritating, second most irritating character died, which was nice. But then that other engineer lady, please don't make her a recurring character. We don't need another know-it-all.
Yeah.
Another know-it-all jerk who I'm smarter than you and
That was never Star Trek. You didn't have know-it-all jerks for the most part. You didn't. People were likable and people tried to get along with each other. That's the whole point of being in a federation, is to get along with different people, different species, different races. But I guess not.
So my predictions. I predict that if Spock left early, if he didn't leave early and he's just lying to her and he sabotaged the Enterprise, that would be awful. That's one of my predictions. Second prediction. This Red Angel thing is really Michael Burnham from like an alternate universe or something.
Which is silly. It's not.
I just see it though. That because again they allude to the fact this thing can like destroy all life in the universe. But didn't they just do that?
Yeah, I know.
Because when they're in the mirror universe, their engines were ripping apart like the fabric of time.
Yeah, and they had all those worms, marsupial spores, whatever they call them. They were the linkage of each universe in reality. It was going to destroy all universes.
So this is another destroy all universes thing. They literally doing the same exact
No,
thing.
it's Mass Effect. That's
Yeah,
what this
it
is.
sounds like a Mass Effect storyline.
Yeah.
So those are my two wacky predictions, and the fact that her and Spock had a physical relationship. It just seems so odd.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's something else, but she just feels the way she talks about it. She's always standoffish and weird and nervous.
I found out that she was nervous because she didn't. I thought when she was first nervous in the episode, it's because she didn't live up to Spock's expectations. No, as a brother,
I have no idea. I'm crazy. God, I hope I'm just
No.
crazy.
I agree with you. But then after a while, it's like, okay, she's a little too about this.
They're landing on thick.
Yeah. And Sarah's like, okay, I'll go now. Well, what? You're their father. What you're going to tell me what the heck's going on between you and Spock? That's what I'm going to ask. What is this?
I don't know. Oh God, I hope it's not something
At
like.
one time he had
Oh
empathy.
God, the more I think about this, what if Spock asked her to marry him and she said no? I'm going crazy. I gotta stop talking about this before I freaking go nuts. And
Okay,
that's
that's
what
one
broke
thing.
up-
That's one thing. It's Lorca is I didn't care about him, but make it Spock.
Could you imagine? Maybe because
Oh, my.
that's when he said, once. So maybe there was that moment they got really close. She saw him as just a brother and he saw something more.
Oh, Spock,
That-
no.
Spock, you freak. God,
Out of
please
your
don't let that
Vulcan
be.
mind.
He's out of his Vulcan mind. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that wraps up episode 1. You got anything else to add?
I'm trying to.
It's an
think of-
hour long. It's
Oh, it
still-
was way too long.
Ugh.
Another thing too, the other lady didn't say much. The new one that was with Pike, the one in the red, she didn't. Say
Yeah,
that
she
much.
said like 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
She went down, saw her other buddy died, and they didn't care.
No one cared. No one even mentioned again. Oh, he's gone forever. It's fine.
And the thing is, they should have recognized his death like on the bridge.
Yeah,
He
even
lost-
after everything happened, okay, then do it. No, not even then. No.
That's science, people. High five. Pfft.
I know.
It's silly.
It is. It's so dumb. Take those out. You have good sci-fi elements in the
You
show.
don't need to be silly.
No, literally. Okay, we got to get on the planet. Okay, there's magnetic interference. Okay, we get down there. Okay, make sure we use these one pods. We'll be able to do it. And they'll be able to counter out it. See, they were talking the way they should talk.
They almost did it.
Mm-hmm.
They almost did it. A C-. I don't know.
I would have gave it a 7, but that lady on the down there makes it like a 4.
We don't
to
need
me.
a show-it-all woman who can do everything.
Oh, where were
everything.
you 10 months ago?
But yeah, I could have had you on this thing. Oh, things would have been so much better.
Oh yeah, I know. Another thing too, I'm starting to notice a problem. Everyone's attracted to Michael Burnham too. That's another.
Oh yeah,
thing.
she's just the most likable person ever.
Oh yeah, they're attracted to her. It's just okay, guys. We get it. She's the best thing since sliced bread. My goodness.
She's better than Spock.
Oh yeah.
So that's gonna wrap up this episode. Next Thursday we'll be here every
Oh
episode.
yeah, we're gonna have to be doubling up on this. So.
Yeah, because we got Orville.
I'm watching Orville first before I watch Star Trek. 'Cause I gotta get a high before I get into this.
And man, they're gonna release. Man, we're gonna be busy. We're gonna be busy on this podcast, but we do it for you guys.
Oh yeah.
And Michael Burnham out. I've been your host, Crimson Sin.
I'm Anthony PCA.
Thanks for watching.
See you later. Bye.
Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, sub, and share. Also, for the most up-to-date information about the podcast, follow us on Twitter at C15 Podcast.